when you think back to on these hard moments, so you've been in this thing since when? Native started in 14. Is that when you really started in 14?
Yeah.
So 9 years. Give me your toughest moment, man. Give me the toughest moment that you felt like quitting.
So right before, and that's one of the reasons why I'm here today is because I haven't given up, man. I've had my back to the wall, and there's been moments where I actually there was a point where I was going to go pick up shirts from TSC, which is thankfully TSC. They were here in Cincinnati, so they were a major t-shirt distributor. And I went to go put gas on my car, and I didn't have enough money to put gas in my car to go pick up the shirts. And then I get immediately my car gets declined, and then I get a little ding on my phone. I had a sale on the website. So right there, I was able to fill my car up, and it's like there's been moments like that where, again, like Yosemite Sam, it's like my biscuits are burning, But it's like I've been pressed against the wall, but I haven't given up, And the one of the biggest moments, it was right before I got that clothing the pop-up shop at the Levee. I was behind on bills. I had my store in Dayton, but I was open every day. But, I would be lucky to get one sale. It was just off the beaten path at the time. And so I did like this one thing on Facebook. I said, hey, if anybody wants a hat with whatever area code you want, we can pre-sell them now. But this might be the last time you ever buy a Native hat because I'm behind on bills. And the whole army came out, man. The friends, the families, my cousins, my uncles, their friends, my friends' friends, and it put me in the green. It literally changed everything, and it was like just asking, my friends on Facebook, hey, this might be the last chance you can get a hat. And that one thing turned everything around. I think we sold 2,000 hats, so it really got us out of the red. And then right after that, the Levee said, hey, do you want to do a pop-up shop? And it's like, yes, get me out of Dayton, bro. Let's go. So
Dayton KY ain't all bad.
Oh, I love it, man.
So every day, I think the mistake from talking to so many people that they make is we hear this message, and I send it out a lot. I'm like, hey, man, just keep going.
Yeah.
Just don't quit. I promise. But the problem is they stay stagnant. You can't combine stagnant with don't quit, because at some point you're not going to have any option. Party's going to be over.
You got to pivot.
Right? All day, baby.
You got to pivot.
Every day, I think you have to be creative. And what problems do I need to solve?
Absolutely.
Where's the new creative streak? And I think that's the problem. It's like you can have drive and commitment to an idea and a thing, but, man, you better have some creative energy driving the evolution of whatever your thing is every day.
There was a moment when I had the P&G deal that I had. So it was the last hurrah. They were taking the clothes out at the end of the year, and I wanted to do a big event. So I rented this graffiti artist. We did this Guinness Book of World Records, the world's biggest piece of graffiti on clothing. So I had 30 shirts all lined up, and he did one big mural on them. And there was a bad thunderstorm that night. Nobody showed up. And I spent all this money, and I was trying to impress P&G on this last stint. And I had, maybe eight friends that showed up. But other than that, it wasn't an event at all. And I went home and I broke down to my wife, girlfriend at the time. And I told her, I was like, I just can't do this. When it's only you, the W's feel good, but the L's, they hurt, man, because there's nobody to blame but yourself. You know what I mean? I can't blame it on this person or that person because this was my idea, my function, my brain, my baby. And so that next day, I was giving up, man. I was in my car in front of the clothing store. I just pulled all the stuff out. And I had I was on my phone. I was doing this fake message about thank you everybody for showing up last night. It was an amazing time. But really in my heart, I'm like, this is over. I'm done. And then I get this little knock on my window, and I look over, and it's Stephanie, the manager of the store, and she just does this, and I look over, and it's Amelia Estevez. And he's like, "What are you doing, dude?" And so I hop out of the car, and I saw a photo of him the day before. He was in there and he bought a native hat, but I wasn't there. Stephanie sold it to him. So I hopped out of the car and I introduced myself to him, and he was like, I came back to buy a bunch of your hats, but they're all, they're not in here. And I was like, oh, sorry, bro. Like, so I opened up the trunk of the car and I sold him like $300 worth of stuff out of the trunk of my car. But I told him, I'm like, bro, like, you have no idea. Like this, you came in at the perfect time because I was giving up. Like, I had a horrible night. Like the, everything that I just spent my life savings on this piece of graffiti, and then you're here, and he's like, he prayed with me, gave me a hug. He's like, look, dude, like, you're on to something big here. This is my absolute favorite hat, and I'm coming back here to buy these from my mom and dad and brother. And so he bought a bunch of stuff and brought it back to him, and we've kept in touch ever since. And he's been a great mentor and friend. But it's just moments like that where it's like, I was giving up, man. That L it hurt too much. But it's like that next day, like, again, something's there. Like Yosemite Sam, my 6-shooters, man. Just I'm still here today for it.
I'm thinking how many people. Because, see, let's say Emilio doesn't show up. Like, it sounds like what I've heard, there's 2 significant moments that if they don't happen.
Absolutely.
The Jay's now sitting here.
Yeah. 3, actually,
Give
man.
me the third one.
So I signed the lease on that Newport store on March 3rd of 2020. So I signed the lease to the store. Yeah. And we had these kids, man. They were awesome. Jose and Sean Bucci and these kids. They were always coming by the store. They're just a bunch of skateboarders, and we got the key to the store. And they were like, "When are you guys gonna move in?" We're like, "Probably next month." And they were like, "Bro, let's do it now." And so we had these 4 skater kids that moved everything over into that store. So we got everything done in one day. And then the pandemic hit on the 14th was when we first heard about it. And on the 17th, they shut everything down. So I just signed this big lease. I was just I was on the news for it. We were in the paper for it. Cincinnati Business Courier did something for us. But everything like halted right there. And it was like, I just spent all this money for all this new, like, just the hangers alone is a small fortune when it comes to a small business, like, let alone like buying all the fixtures for the walls on a 4,000 square foot store. But then we built out that white room the way we needed it, and then it shut down. So we weren't able to do anything. Like, we weren't even allowed to be open. And, I had a good buddy of mine, Andrew Listerman. He's from Cincinnati. He moved to LA and started Riveting Entertainment, which is they do a lot of music videos for Drake and Justin Bieber and these guys. But he told me, he was like, you got to pivot, in moments like this. Like, you can't give up, man. Like, keep one foot on the ground, move that other foot, pivot, and figure out where to pass that ball. And as simple as that statement is, if you can figure out like what the meaning behind that is, it makes so much sense, man. It's like the keep that foot on the ground and then figure your way out, because you're gonna be able to make it. You just have to be patient and figure it out.
So what'd you do?
We went online. So me and the wife right away, we started tie-dyeing some clothes. We had a bunch of white sweatshirts that already had the box logo on them. So me and the wife literally tie-dyed everything out of the house. I printed these little sublimation patches that had my like Mad Scientist cartoon figure or her Mad Scientist cartoon figure with the exact time and date of when we made them. So all these, there's a small run of native hoodies and T-shirts out there that have like the pandemic dates of like March 17th or March 22nd. And if it was done by me, like it might be like 3:54 a.m. like doing these things like super late at night because there was nothing else for us to do. We were stuck in the house. So
I think, all right, so 3 moments,
Yeah.
right? So the moment with Listerman, your friend,
Yeah.
right? Pandemic comes, that happens.
That was a scary moment, man, because that was the big boy moment, right? That was like we signed a lease on a big store, like, and we're getting ready to like feeling like you're getting called up to the majors, right? And then all of a sudden the pandemic happening, and like I just literally I spent $300-400 just on white paint, and then like the lights that were in the white room. I replaced the standard 3500K with 4500K, and then didn't like the way those looked, so I brought it up to 5000K. Didn't like the way those looked,
6,000.
and then went to 6000K and was like, "This is it, dude!" Like, so I was trying to make that room so white that when you took photos and put it on Facebook, there would be no edge. And that was the goal for that store. And so like I just got obsessed with it. Like we were closed anyways, right? So it was like let's fine tune everything that's in here.
So these 3 moments, you post on Facebook, your people just come, they buy 2,000 hats from you.
Yeah.
Right. You've got the car packed up. The girl did she work at the levee? Was she the leasing lady?
That was the P&G store next to a 16-bit.
So she brings Emilio up, right?
To the car, yeah.
Pandemic happens. You don't know what's going on. Your buddy Listerman calls and he's like, "Hey man, listen, 1 foot planted. You got to pivot. You got to do something else." It all combines humans and people in your life, man.
Absolutely.
Right. And so you must have made enough deposits somewhere. Right.
For sure.
So these people showed up and they're like, "All right, man, it's time for you to withdraw. Let me help you out."
Right.
Right.
Yeah, I mean it's just good friends looking out for each other, man. It's like and I'm sure most of those guys have been in that situation before. They're very adverse at what they do, and they're very smart and forthcoming. So if they see somebody that's a couple of years behind them, struggling, just sending out a little bit of knowledge is it's a lifetime of wealth for somebody like me.
But they're not going to do that for anybody, man.
Right.
Those are busy guys.
Right. I can see that.
Right.
For sure.
And so whatever you did, you're a pretty humble dude too. Like, you're this cool combination of you're very driven, very committed to your thing, but you're a humble dude. And I think if they didn't see something special that had already shown up in their life in some way,
right,
they wouldn't have been here. They wouldn't have been coming to the rescue, the 911 call. And see, that's the piece that guys like you have to share with others about how you got to live your life.
For sure. Because
if you don't do the right things and get up every day and do positive things for others in their lives,
right,
when the chips are down, man, and your life's going to shit, there's going to be nobody there to help you out.
Yeah. It's that woe me thing, that's real too though, man. If you feel like there's a dark cloud hanging over your head, that dark cloud will find a way to hang over your head. You know what I mean? Like you get out what you put in, and the being nice to your neighbors is something that it's tough for some people, but everyone's going through something different, man. And especially at a time like this where and everyone's on edge. There's tens of thousands of people that had homes a year ago that are now homeless, man. So it's like you got to treat everybody that with the same amount of respect that you would want.